Today I'm going to clean Caleb and the Percival's cage. It is in pretty bad condition. I left it almost a little too long and they are in high need of a cage clean. So living in here is of course my little Caleb, and he lives with all the little Percies who I can't tell apart. Since this is such a big cage, I'm just going to clean it with all the mice in it. They'll probably get underfoot a little bit, but it's such a large cage that it should be pretty safe having them in the cage as I clean. So, first thing I will do is clean the top level so that everybody can be in the bottom whilst I clean the top, and then I will move everybody up top, and then I will clean the bottom. And usually mice really enjoy a cage cleaning day because there's lots of excitement, things get rearranged, lots of new things to discover and investigate. Cage cleaning is fun for the mousies. Plus then it's all nice and fresh and clean. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take everything away. Hi, Caleb. These are actually bath mat carpeting that I buy from Walmart, and it's one of my favorite things to bed mice in. It doesn't cost any more or even a little less than traditional type beddings, but you can use it over and over again. So you can see it gets kind of messy, but all I have to do is pick it up, if I can with this little guy. I better move him. Down you go. And shake it a bit. And then it still will have a little bit of stuff in it. You have to be a bit careful with these in the washing machine. If you leave too much debris on it, like fuzzy things like this, they do like to chew it, it can clog the washing machine. So you want to be a bit careful. So what I do usually is I give it a good shake, then I brush them thoroughly, and then they go into the washing machine. Because this mice are kind of a bit stinky, they smell a little bit strong once they have been on the carpet for quite a while. So you have to wash the carpet. I put it through about 3 cycles. I wash it 3 times. And then it is 100% clean. If you only had 1 or 2 mice and you cleaned often, then 1 cycle would be enough. But in this cage we have 5 little mices, and they make a lot of mess and they're a little bit stinky. And so this carpeting needs to be washed 3 times in the cycle, and then it's fine. Then it goes into the dryer, and then you have nice, fresh, clean blankies. And the mice do chew them up a little bit sometimes, but if they get chewed up too badly, you can always cut them up and make them into smaller pieces like this. But in general, you can use this carpeting for 1 year, 2, maybe even 3 years, and it becomes a much more economical than regular bedding. So I use this carpeting for the top. For the bottom I am using traditional bedding just because it's better at odor suppression, and the mice do like to dig in it. If I have a mouse that's very sensitive, has respiratory issues, then I will only bed it in this carpeting, because this is the least dusty bedding. It's Uber, and I get it locally in a pet store. And it's really good when it comes to not being dusty. But for mice that are prone to having respiratory issues, it is already a little too dusty. And then with them, I mostly bed them in carpeting because it's the safest bedding you can give them when it comes to respiratory issues. So now I've got to remove this, despite the fact there's a little boy in here. And this is the problem. They really like to help out when it comes to cleaning cages. Yeah. So let's put this away. I really like using Velcro. You can get industrial grade Velcro, but even the regular Velcro works really well. One that is sticky on one side and Velcro-y on the other. And it's really great for attaching ladders and sometimes food dishes, things like that. Anything you don't want the mice to move, but you also want to be able to easily put on and off for cleaning. I sure like that little hut. I Mice always like to be up high in a little hut. That's always their favorite. So now, unfortunately, I am going to have to remove this, and they won't like that at all. 4 little Percies. There used to be 6 little Percies, but now we only have 4. Mouseries don't live all that long, and the Percies are now, they're like just over a year old now, so old age sets in early for mouseries. But they're still doing, the 4 that remain are super healthy, super happy, no problems. So next step is giving everything a good sweep just before I wash. This is one of the best cleaning products out there for mice. Totally non-toxic and does a really good job. Very good at odor suppressant, cleaning, just generally. It's a wonderful non-toxic cleaner that you can use. So I've mixed a little bit of that in with water and use a paper towel. And I think I'll take the whole thing over and give everything a good wash. You always have little curious mousies that come and assist. Okay, look. I've got to get this cage of yours clean. So once everything is nicely washed, it is time to dry it with some paper towel. So this is what I do. Paper towel. I can dry it. So the next step will be washing the furniture. So again, I do it in vinegar water because it's such a wonderful product for cleaning. So basically, you just give everything a good scrub with the vinegar water, and then you dry it with some paper towel, and then it's ready to go. So everything has been nicely cleaned and dried, and now we're ready to deal with the new mats. So when they come out of the washing machine, sometimes the edges get frayed a little, and just to be safe, I will cut them off. Don't want there to be any danger that the mice get caught into anything. I think the danger is very low, but I'd rather just have everything nicely trimmed, nice and new and clean and tidy before I give it to them. And for that, you just have to take a pair of scissors and cut. These are a little bit on the blunt side, but if I persevere, I can get that nice and clean. So that's what I will do next, just to make sure it's nice and neat, not just clean, nice and neat and safe for the little guys. So they're nicely trimmed, and now it is time to put them in their places. So this little one goes up here, and they love having this little hut up here, so put it up here. This little hut has been chewed up quite badly. As I said, the Percies are terrible little chewers. So they've chewed out the back, so I leave a little bit of a gap here, and they seem to really like squishing in there, so I'll leave it how they like it. This is what they want, and that is what they want. Guys, Percies are awesome, even if I can't tell them apart. They already start to make a mess, and they chew on everything like crazy. So let's see, I think that's little Paisley, and this little guy, I think, is Percival, and I think Pia's down there, and that's Puck, but who knows? Almost impossible to tell apart. I got this wheel for them. It's larger than my other wheels, and that means they don't have to bend their back as much. But I bought 2 of these, and one of them just keeps falling apart, so they're not as good. They just weren't as good quality as the smaller ones I have, even though it's the same brand, so I was a little bit disappointed. And then they do take a lot of space up. Sort of been toying with the idea of making my own wheels. I've sort of got a few ideas, so maybe in the future I'll make my own. Then I can make them exactly the size I want, exactly as wide as I want, so more than one mouse can run on it, and so that they do not fall apart. Now this one isn't too bad. This one seems to stay together. Carpet is now put down. It's clean, it's neat, it's tidy, and it'll be good for another week or so before we have to clean again. So I'm going to put a bit of nesting material in here, and the nesting material I like the most is just plain old tissue paper or toilet paper. And you just have to unwind it. You unwind it, and then you just tear it up. And then it makes excellent bedding. It's not very dusty, but it's warm. It traps air and warmth really well, and the mice just love it for nest building. So this is what it looks like, and right now it's kind of rough in there, but the little mousies will be in there in no time, and they'll arrange it just how they like it. And then for food, I've given them Supreme Science Selective food for mice and rats. So it's a combination food, but they seem to be doing excellent on it. I'm very happy with it, and they like the taste of it too. I'll just show you what the bag looks like. So this is what I'm feeding them right now. It's Supreme Science Selective for rats and mice. It's a bit hard for me to get hold of here in Canada, but I can get it. There's also a version just for mice, and I love that food, but it's almost impossible for me to get here in Canada, since this is a UK brand. But I'm managing to get this, and I'm really happy with it. The mice love it, and it makes for healthy, happy little mice. So it's Supreme Science Selective Complete Rat and Mouse Food. So the water I've got up here, and as long as you've got it up high on a platform, they will not put bedding in it. Or usually they don't unless they're really obsessed. But for the most part, this is a good way to have the water. So you have to make sure that everybody can get up there. But once it's high up on a platform like that, it stays reasonably clean. And I can give them quite a lot. And I find it's much more reliable than water bottles. I prefer giving them. Right, I've got the food a little bit too hidden here. It's always important to have the food in a place where you can actually gain easy access to it, so that you always know they have enough and it's easy to change. All right, so we got the top all nicely cleaned. And now we got to get rid of this mess. Make it tidy down here as well. So to remove all these, I like giving them this dead wood that I find in the forests around Whitehorse. Mice love it, they can chew on it, and it makes good climbing platforms for them. It's a really good enrichment. Soak it in vinegar water and rinse it and let it dry, and that seems to do the job quite nicely. So these have been washed I washed these about 2 weeks ago, so they're more than fine. And I'll just set them aside and then put them back in when all of this has been cleaned. Caleb's been neutered for about, 2 or 3 months now, and he really gets along well with the Percies. And the Percies were kind of cool because I had them all separated into different groups so I could tell them apart better. But then I decided with the next shuffling around that they could all live together again and see how they worked with Caleb. And it was amazing. They seemed to remember each other. They got along straight away. They were so happy to see each other. There was no fighting whatsoever. So even though they'd been apart for, 4 months or so, they remembered each other and were so happy to be back together again. And then they accepted this little fella pretty quick. It wasn't a big deal, especially since one of the Percies is a neutered male. And they got along actually pretty good. There wasn't much fighting at all when I put this little fellow in. And he's actually quite feisty, so I was just lucky. I tried to integrate 2 other neutered males, Azriel and Leo, but that was a fiasco. They were going to kill each other, so I had to separate them out again. But Percival and Caleb get along really, really well. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah, his life has really improved now that he gets to live with other mice. He's way happier. Neutering has its risks, but the risks are actually quite low compared to the huge improvement in quality of life. The mice just love to be part of a group. So Caleb is one happy little boy. So the next stage of mouse cage cleaning will be removing all this bedding. And this is in some ways the most dangerous part. If you've still got the mice running around, you have to be very careful you don't accidentally hit them. But right now everybody seems to be nicely distracted by everything being new up here. So I think I'm going to be fairly safe after this sometimes you have a little mouse who is too eager about being involved in everything. So when you have one of those, you have to be very careful. And then it's actually safer if you put them into a separate cage. But I think for now we're doing fine. People are much more interested in being up here. Doesn't seem to be anybody down here, so we're safe. But I have to really keep an eye out so I don't accidentally hurt anybody. Remove the bedding, and now it's just a matter of sweeping everything so that I get the last little bit gone so that I can give everything a good wash. These guys are all doing really well. Seem to be enjoying being up here, no problems. Plus it's kind of difficult for them to get down here because I took the ladder away. So this way I can keep them safe. Sometimes though, if they really were desperate to investigate, they will jump. But I think we're pretty safe for now. I don't think there'll be any mousies down here anytime soon, no matter how much they would like to go and check and find out everything that's happened. This little guy. Okay, continue with the sweeping. Hi, Caleb. I know, you find that very interesting, don't you? Yes, you do. You'd love to be down there too, wouldn't you? Yeah. Actually, I'll put him down briefly. I'll just show you what it's like. You have to be very careful though that you don't accidentally hit him. That is the issue. You have to be very aware where he is and accidentally sweep the little fella. I put these little corner brackets in because I had too much chewing happening. And that'll tie me over. I really have to give these cages another revamp. It's always good when you build new cages to just do the basics first and then reassess situations. So now I know that I actually have to line everything with aluminium to prevent corner chewing. So maybe the next time I build stuff in here. So there, I think for this little part, I'm going to pick this little guy up and put him upstairs. Come here, my little fella. There we go. Up you go. This little guy is awesome. This little guy is awesome. This little guy is awesome. I really like this little fella. Oh, cuddly little Caleb. Alrighty, so I'll just go scoop that up and then I think I'll give everything a good wash and a dry and then we're ready to move on and get this cage done. So this is the bedding that I use. Really happy with it. I tried all sorts of other brands of bedding and this was the only one that I found is dust-free enough for mice, and I haven't had any major respiratory issues since I started using this. Sometimes you get an extra sensitive mouse, but for the average mouse this is awesome bedding. And mice like it, I like it. Good odor suppression, looks really nice. Almost completely dust-free. It's just super bedding. So now it's just a matter of taking the stuff, just a matter of taking it and putting it in here. Where is it, everybody? Hi guys. Everybody's in a little hut. Hello. Yep, your cage will get done pretty soon. Hello. I think that one's Percy, but I can't tell them apart. Hi guys. I like these igloos. If you don't have time to build wooden ones, these igloos work really well and the mice really like them. Plus they have a place on top to put water. And I've given them an extra waterer and also extra food just in case, because now the Yukon has opened up more to the rest of Canada and we're starting to have an uptick in coronavirus cases. And the last thing I want is to become suddenly too ill to take care of them for a few days. And then my little mousies to go hungry, and thirsty. So I am just, to be safe, right now I'm just making sure I give them more than enough water and food to last them several days. Just as insurance. Unlikely that anything bad will happen, but you just never know. Best to be safe. So now there's just one more thing that I need to do to this cage to finish everything off and make it all perfect. There, it's all done. Just had to add a few aspen branches and we have a beautiful finished cage to make these 5 little mice very happy. I'm going to put this one back. I moved it. Come here, little one. Down you go. This one goes here. I moved it in order to put all the branches in. So I think what I'll do now is just do a little bit of filming just to see how everybody settles in, and then this cage will be good for about 2 weeks with this amount of mice in it. I will next weekend have to do some spot cleaning, and that's usually the top has to be tidied. The bottom though, all you have to do is fluff things out a little bit, do a little bit of spot cleaning, and you can use the bedding again, which is good because this is quite expensive bedding. Hi Caleb. You're so curious. Unfortunately, my little guy, I don't really have anything for you. I know. No treats. I know. Sorry about that. There we go. He always goes down here for some reason because he seems to think this is where we play. This is where we play. This is where we play. Oh. Oh, little man. Okay, I'll go give everybody a little bit of bedding. They actually kind of like having a little bedding in here as well. So we'll give everybody a little extra bedding. Right. There we go. Oh. Let's just run down here. And this is where he wants to play. This is where he wants to play. I have to give him some dried hay again. He loves playing with hay. He loves playing with hay. Hay. Well, actually, we'll go get you guys some hay. Since I don't have any cheesies, we'll have to make sure we have hay for you guys. Yeah, I'll go do that right now. I'll be back. Alright, I got some hay. It's not exactly hay yet, it's still grass, but if I lay it out like this, in a day or so, it'll be nice and dry. And then they have a ton of fun playing with it. Fortunately, I've got allergies, so I can't buy real hay. So the best they get is this. But by tomorrow or the day after, it'll be nice and dry. And then they can have a lot of fun. Everybody had such an exciting time that now it is bedtime. Bedtime, bedtime, bedtime. And these little guys, tomorrow, Midas and his troop get cleaned. Yeah? Tomorrow they get cleaned, and boy, is it ever needed. Okay, I think I'm done with my filming for now. You get a clean cage tomorrow, Midas. Yes. And you guys have a fun cage. Won't need to do any more cleaning until next weekend. A little bit of spot cleaning, and then 2 weeks' time, another full cleaning. This will do just fine for now.